Born of Blood issue number 1 is what we're going to be taking a look at today, and it's actually written by one of my good friends, Drew from Comics Elite. You guys have probably seen me over on the Comics Elite channel, but the interesting thing is that if you look at the comic itself, the artist or the writer is actually by Dolan, which is the pen name that Drew uses. But yeah, Drew's a great friend of mine, him and his brother, and all the guys, Murphy and Joe Corallo and Aaron Sparrow and Sean, all those dudes who are over there that are working over at the Comics Elite booth at the store and at the publishing company of Merc Publishing are all fantastic individuals, and I got to see them at Dallas Fan Expo this past, I think, summer, which was such a fun time and really enjoyed it. So Born of Blood issue number 1, it came out originally as a Kickstarter book, and this, guys, this fire cover. I can't show it for too long because YouTube might get me out of here, but it is absolutely gorgeous. So this is actually the retail version. This is cover B of the retail version, and this was one of the variant covers for Born of Blood issue number 1 from the Kickstarter version. So if you guys want, you can actually go ask your local comic shop to get this book for you right now, because I believe that they are sending these out through either Diamond or Lunar or one of the two. So you can ask for Born of Blood right now. The great thing about having kind of both copies, though, because I initially backed the Kickstarter one, is that you can really see how Drew, not only Drew, but how the publishing company of Merc is getting better with every issue, because there are edits from both copies, whether that's the Kickstarter version or the retail version. There are edits, and there are kind of script edits, creative edits that have been done by, you know, Joe Corallo or Aaron Sparrow or Murphy or Drew or whoever it is within the book that you see with the retail version that you don't see with the Kickstarter version. So I do like how you can almost see that these individuals grow with each book, with each issue that they produce, and it kind of shows that there's a larger picture kind of growing within this Merc Publishing universe, which I don't know if you guys have seen this logo, but you guys can check out mercpublishing.com and get all the back issues, whether that's from the Kickstarter campaigns or whether that's from the retail versions. So I'd highly encourage you guys to do that. But Born of Blood follows Princess Giaris and her kind of struggle into what it means to be a warrior princess in this age of, like, probably one of the greatest empires of Sparta in history. And I think Drew does a good job of creating this female character who has depth to her, she has to endure struggles. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to take a look at these right now. So first of all, I just wanted to show you this Kickstarter cover. Whew, that is wild. I believe this is by Ferguson, but I also wanted to show this one. Now, I can't show all of the interiors of this one because some of them are a bit spicy, but this was actually what came with the Kickstarter pledge, is you were able to get a cover gallery of all the different covers of the one when you backed Born of Blood. This was the Spider-Man homage. Let's see if I can... Some of these are a little spicy, so I don't want to show too much. You never know, YouTube. But I love these covers. They are absolutely gorgeous, and each one has like a style to them, to their own. This is an Ariel Diaz cover, she is just, I mean, a queen amongst insects when it comes to doing beautiful work on women, specifically faces and eyes. I really enjoy how she does the facial expression and eyes of some of the women that she draws. But I mean, of course, the body, the figure here is just like, it's killer, man. It is so amazing. She draws beautiful women with incredible structures. And so these were all the covers from the Kickstarter campaign. And I just kind of wanted to show you guys that, to show you the kind of talent that is on this project and some of the covers that you guys can look into. But as far as the story itself, we're going to take a look at the retail edition, because I think this probably has the final product edits and everything, because now in the kind of in the credits here, we see that Dolan is writing with Joe Corallo writing and editing is that with that as well, edited here by Joe Corallo. And so we start the story off with a birth, and King Cleomenes, and I believe that's how it should be pronounced. I am more Viking than I'm not Greek at all whatsoever, so I apologize if I can't pronounce Greek names. But King Cleomenes has just had a child, and so his wife passes away from childbirth. However, the queen, and so the woman says, "But the queen has bore you a daughter and not a son." And King Cleomenes says, "How disappointing." So already we're kind of getting this this character development of a king who is very disappointed in, you know, the birth of a daughter, which during this period of time was exceptionally kind of off-putting. I'll say that. But then we see the daughter, Giaris, kind of growing up in this Spartan age, and we can definitely see how upset he is with this development. We get some more backstory and some kind of input into her life that she begins to study at school. She learns history. She learns the Sparta as a whole. She learns everyone's responsibility to keep Sparta safe. And one night, after she has gone through some of these schools, some of these classes, King Cleomenes comes into her bedroom. He calls her out, and he throws her in prison. And he jails her with an individual who, throughout this issue, is going to train her to an extent which is extremely painful. I think with these panels and through this story, we see Giaris grow from kind of this happy-go-lucky, very maybe ditzy almost character to someone who has seen struggle, who endures pain, who has to go through lots of different obstacles in order to become a fighter, a warrior, a protector of Sparta. So she gets introduced to this prison cell, and before she can even shake her trainer's hand, she gets smacked in the face by this dude. And she begins to endure the hardship of what it means to train under Spartan rule. I'm going to do that because I'm pretty sure this is not safe for work content right in this general area. So I'm just going to put my hand here a little bit. But she learns how to fight from this trainer. And as she does so, she learns day by day the struggle, the amount of pain, but also the fortitude, the mental fortitude, and I guess you could say, the resilience to take on enemies, the resilience to take on difficulty. So finally, she bests him in a fight, and she says, "More still bested me every time," until at the end here, she is able to kind of overcome him by using a different tactic. And she finally asks him to yield. She says, "Yield, damn you, yield." And he goes, "Took you effing long enough." So they've kind of developed this relationship at this point. And as you can see, King Cleomenes is very pleased with the results. I'll say that the art here is definitely not, your Mark Silvestris or Jim Lee or something, but it's great because it expresses exactly what the comic is trying to get across, which is basically Giaris having to fight for her freedom, fight for her ability to become a warrior of Sparta. And I enjoy the art in that matter where, it shows exactly what it needs to portray. And so finally we get an introduction into a battle scene where it says the Battle of Sepia was approaching. Father led Sparta's soldiers to war. The Argives were ecstatic about the news. Sparta was ripe for the taking. So at this point in time, the leaders then begin to kind of come together, the politicians and some of the people who are within the Spartan government, and they start to make all these plans about should we give up Sparta? Should we just leave? Should we let these attackers take over? Or should we fight back? Or how should we fight back? They're trying to come up with these strategies. And Giaris says, no, we will seek out the enemy and eliminate them one by one. And so what her and her trainer actually do, and I believe it was more, they go into the encampment of these attackers, of the enemy. They go into the encampment, and overnight, they go one by one by one, and they kill each and every one of these attackers until the next morning we see that the king of these enemies, of these invading armies, wakes up to the heads of all his men on pikes. This was a great panel. I loved how they did this, and I love this panel too, how Giara is standing in defiance against the enemy, but she's standing proud, she's standing strong, and she's not doing it in a way that is, this I'm better than everyone, or this like egotistical, like I hate men, so all men must die type of mentality. She's doing this for the love of her country. She's doing this for the love of Sparta, because she knows that this is going to be the only way in order to defeat these enemies. So I like that aspect, and you can really see that in the artwork here of how she's standing defiantly against this king. So she goes to fight him. These daggers are pretty cool too. I like how they're kind of curved at the end there. So she goes to fight him, goes right for the family jewels, no hesitation, and then slits his throat to end the battle. She says, "We had won. Sparta was safe." And then her and her trainer at the end of the battle, he says, "You did it." And she goes, "We did it." And they do a little, Arnold hand grab from, Predator. And afterwards, the men have all been, they're tired from war, they're tired from battle, but they see that the two come back victorious, and King Cleomenes says, "Daughter, you have made me so proud." And this is probably one of my favorite panels, or one of my favorite pages in the book. I really enjoyed the whole book, honestly, but this is really where we see the development of King Cleomenes and the development of Giaris. This is like setting up the world that we're going to begin to live in with these Spartans. I have read issue 2 of this series, and I will say I enjoy issue 2 much better, but this page here is what, for me, really kind of consolidated everything and finished this issue off perfectly, because basically King Cleomenes says, "My people, we were victorious at the Battle of Sepia. We continue to live free as Spartans. It was not without blood and sacrifice, but we Spartans are born of blood. My daughter, who along with more killed an entire regiment of Argives, is no exception. Hail Princess Giaris, hail King Cleomenes, all hail the king, hail Princess Giaris." And these are what the crowd is screaming as she waves and accepts her role as princess after her going through these trials and these tribulations. And it says here, "to be continued," which we will see in issue 2. Now, from my understanding, Drew has already read or has already created about 6 issues of Born of Blood, and at least written 6 issues so far. And we are on issue number 2, which you guys can go and buy right now from your local comic shop. Overall, I had a lot of fun with this issue. Like I said, I think issue 2 is even better. And from what I've been reading and from what I've been hearing from Joe Corallo, the editor, Aaron Sparrow, the creative production designer, from what I've been hearing from those two gentlemen about how Drew is writing and how Merc is doing as a publishing company, is that they have gotten better with every issue. And I think I said that at the beginning of the video, but it's true, because each time I read another issue of anything, whether it's Born of Blood or Death Rage or Miss Meow, anything within the Merc Publishing universe, each issue continues to get better and better with better writing, better character development, better art, honestly. So overall, really enjoyed Born of Blood issue number 1, so I would encourage you guys to go check it out, especially if you love female characters who have more depth to them, more character development, and female characters who honestly have to go through struggle in order to embrace their role as, or embrace their title as princess, or as queen, or as warrior, whatever it is. I think it's nice that Drew put that in there, where she's not just validated for existing, she is validated after being victorious in battle, being victorious from her training. So, great story. Art is totally fine, and overall, really enjoyed the book. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.